Hello everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft video. We have another tutorial today, and this time we're going into the water and to a topic that I don't feel as comfortable with and trying to build up a boat. I do love how this one turned out, however, and it is a nice little fishing boat, and using those copper blocks work perfectly well with the oxidization and the copper. If you liked the video and if you like the build, then go down and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are not already. But with that all said, guys, let's jump straight in to the tutorial. Alright guys, so to get started with our little boat here, we want to find a nice area in the ocean that we're going to actually build it. So a trick for placing this down is to start with a lily pad. That way you can place it directly on top of the water and a block coming from the side, just like that. So with your first block placed, this is going to come along by 8. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. Then we're going to place a temporary block with 1, a temporary block with 2, temporary 1 again. Then at the back, temporary block and 1, and temporary block and 1 again. Coming round to the other side, we just repeat what we have here. So 1 block there, temporary block, 2, temporary block 1, the same as there. Then we have our 8, so temporary block 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Temporary block 1, temporary block another 1, and then just join those ones across at the back. And that's going to be the main shape for this section here. And first, before we get to the top, we're going to do the rest of the hull underneath of the water. So starting off at the back, on your temporary blocks that you already have here, place a row of blocks across. So they should be coming 1 down further from that right there. 1 in the corners here and here. And this time you bring it all the way back, meeting up with where we already have the line for this section here. And do the same on the other side as well. From there we go along 1, 2, then a single one and a single one again. So 1, 2 and single right there. Then we're going to actually join up all of this all the way across right here. And just fill this entire thing in with your deep slate blocks. Then one final layer in the very centre, place a block 1 there, 2, 3 and 4. Then come along by 3, and this is going to be 5 along, so 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then it's all going to be 3 wide like so. And then finally 2 more in the centre right there. And that is going to be the main bottom hull section of our little boat. We need to stay under the water just for this final little piece here as a little rudder. So at the back here, we're going to actually place 2 andesite blocks coming from there, upside down andesite stairs there and there facing that way, and then up and another upside down stair right there. And that's just a nice little rudder under the water at the back. Moving on up, and we're going to use some of the waxed oxidized copper blocks, and we're going to mix in some of the waxed weathered copper as well, more on the bottom sides. So if you're doing this in survival, you may want to do this at the same time if you've already pre-waxed your copper and things, but I'm just going to do it with the oxidized copper first, and then I'll texture out later. So place a row of these blocks right along, sticking out 1 from either side, and then we want these to be 2 high. Then for the front, come in and place a temporary block right there with 3 copper blocks going up this time and out by 2. 1 on top of this deep slate block, come up by 3 and then out by 2 right there. Then another temporary block with a copper block there, temporary block and another 2. Finally, 1 more temporary block right there, and another 1 on top of that, and bring that up by 2 as well. So you have this shape, and then copy that again on the other side. So temporary block, copper up by 3, out by 2, on there, and up by 3, out by 2. Temporary blocks again, working our way up just like that. The back is a little more straightforward. We come back here on top of this andesite stair, bring blocks up by 3, 3 on either side of those as well, then just 2 top ones like that. Then on top of this deep slate block, bring it out by 1 and up by 2 again. And again the same on that side, so you have this shape at the back. Now to finalise the shape, we're going to take our waxed copper block again and place a block right there and right there. At the back, at the front as well, we're going to extend these out once more. Then on those blocks we just placed, we're going to add a cut copper stair on all 4 of them, like so. Then take our oxidized cut copper slab, place 2 this time, one in front of the stair and one at the front. And then on the front section of the boat here, we're actually going to do 1, 2, 3, and again 1, 2, 3 like that. At the very front of the boat, place a cut copper slab right there, and then on 2 coming from the sides. And then you should have a shape that looks something like this. Coming to the inside of our boat, we're going to add in a floor so we can build up the rest of the structures more easily. So coming in here and placing oak planks on this first copper block right there. So we're going to bring that all the way across until we get underneath of these stair blocks on both of the sides, and just fill this all in with some oak planks. Then at the back, we want to raise this up by 1 so it goes along like that. Then we're going to add some slabs right there to help us get up and down. If you have this block underneath the stair, you can just place another copper block right there. Once again at the front, you can add the copper blocks underneath of these stair ones right there, and we're just going to extend these oak planks out until we can't go any further. And then we're actually going to add in a little hole here in the floor for where the fish are being held once they are caught. So we'll punch out with 3x2 like there, like so. Add in some polished andesite blocks to the exterior, and then add some polished andesite slabs to the base of those as well. Oak trap doors on either side, and then you can waterlog all of those slabs down at the bottom. Close that up, and that's going to be where the fish can be held once they're caught with our fishing net. So now we're going to work on a little interior section where the driver is going to drive this boat, and a little bedroom area down below. So taking some calcite, come in, and where we added this little hold section here, count 2 blocks, so 1, 2, and place a calcite block. And you want this to be 5 wide, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want it to be 3 high, so 2, 3. Up like that. And want to go 5 back this way as well, so 2, 3, 4, and 5. And again 3 high. Do this all the way around. Okay, then at the very front, we're going to bring this middle one up by 3, 3 again, and then the 2 sides up by 3, and we're going to create this little shape right here. At this point, we'll actually come back in and we can add in some oak flooring. You may want to take away any temporary blocks that you still have. Then using some smooth red sandstone, we're going to bring this up by 3 blocks on top of our calcite, and we're just going to follow that line just on the square shape, not using the middle one as well. Bring that all the way along and all the way up by 3. Alright, then we're actually going to raise these ones up by a block, so these 3 here, so it should be 2 and then 3, and then again this goes all the way around like that. Now we're going to add a roof to this section here and come in and place a cut copper oxidized slab on the top half of these middle blocks right here. Then a temporary one with 2, so it goes down half a block, and then another one right there, so it is just 1 hanging off the edge. And then bring this one up, temporary block there and there, so you have 1, 2, 2 and 2. Copy that on the other side as well. Starting from the back, we're going to come in, up, and then all the way along, and then like that, with 1 in the very centre. Then come from the top of this block and bring those all the way across, like that, with 3 along the back, 1 in the centre again. And again on top of this block this time, bring those ones across, with 3 along and 1 in the centre one more time. Then spin round to the front, bring these ones up to create full blocks right there and there. Place a slab on the top half of that block, 1 in the centre, bring that out and across, and you'll have this little shape, and that is going to be the roof all done. Adding some windows now, and come to the very centre, punch out these 2 blocks and add in some light grey stained glass panes. To the front, we want to punch out a 3x2 in the middle, once again with the glass panes, and the same on the other side, the centre blocks there. Come round and land, and then the centre 2 calcite blocks, punch those away, and come to the inside, place an acacia door, and that's going to be our entrance. Alright, we'll come back to this and do the details a little bit later, but we're going to add in the fishing crane hook out the back right here. So we're going to add in a barrel right in the very centre, and then we're going to add 4 diorite walls, 1, 2, 3 and 4, with another barrel on top of that. Then we're going to add 15 more walls on top of this. Alright, that's 15, so we're going to actually add 15 more coming from this barrel but diagonally. So I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. You should then be able to come from this block right here with an iron bar and just do again the same way diagonally all the way up, and it should meet up with the top of our little tower here of diorite walls. Just like that. Awesome. So let's add in the little fishing hook. So come under this section here, add 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and add a grindstone upside down on top of this chain right there. Okay, taking a tiled deep slate stair, upside down one right there. You will need to place some temporary blocks to get this working right. So we want a regular stair facing that way. Temporary blocks again with another regular stair facing that way, and that creates a little hook right there. Then we're going to add in some more iron bars to the sides here to give it a little bit more structure and look like it's tied to the sides of the boat. So add an iron bar right there, going up and then up again and again. This time it's a 4, then up 2 more, join it onto the barrel, and then 1 up onto the diorite right there. Do the same on the other side. There we go. It looks like nice supports holding that crane arm in place. We need one more attaching it to this side, so we're going to add in a grindstone right here in the middle of the roof. And once again, like we've done over there, we're going to add a iron bar at the top, and then just bring that out diagonally until it meets up with, it'll be about halfway up our pole right there. And there we go. You should have something that looks like this now, our nice hook crane going to lower down an imaginary fishing net here. And yeah, let's work on the details for this front section now. One last thing though, before we forget, we need to add a grindstone right there and add in some chains coming up to join on with this, and it's just one more little bit of support and looks like something the fisherman would pull up and down to raise and lower the hook right there. So the first detail we're going to add is a little rubber ring life raft thing that you would throw out. So we're going to add 2 levers coming down from there with a chain hanging from those. Then we're going to alternate with red nether bricks and smooth quartz stairs. So we're going to add an upside down stair there, and then a white one right there with a regular stair there and a regular white one there. So we have a alternating red and white ring. Awesome. So the rest of this going around this section here, we're going to add in acacia trapdoors all the way along and all the way around on the other side, and then finally along the front. And then everywhere else, to make this look a little bit more like wood and give it a little bit more depth, we're just going to cover this in acacia signs on all of the available blocks that are left. Okay, so it should look like that, and then you just repeat this going all the way around again. Almost finished with the exterior, but on the deck here we're going to add in some details. So we're just going to add in a pile of barrels right here on the floor, and maybe a little chest and a composter here or there. These just look like little buckets on barrels you would keep some fish that you caught in. I'm going to add one in there as well. I'm going to add in another life raft here like this one, but we're just going to add this sitting, resting on the floor. So we'll just do it like that, there, and another one right there. Before we get to the interior, there's one final detail we can put to the outside of our little boat here. So on the third one in, you can place a lever, flip it down, and then come underneath and place a grindstone right there, and do one more this side. So 3 in, place it right there, flip it down, and a grindstone, and that just acts like little tire buffers you get on the side of ships to stop them hitting into the side of the docks. And you can do that on the other side as well. And finally, if you've not done so already, you can come in with your weathered variant of this copper block and replace some of the blocks at the bottom. This gives that nice little weathered effect. So you can do something like that. Not all the blocks, just here and there where you think it might look good to have a little bit of rust, a little bit of oxidization. Okay, moving on to the interior, and it's a very cramped and small space in here. But we can remove this back wall of calcite as we have the extra one on the exterior. So I want to add an oak stair in the corner with one right there, and then fill in the oak planks underneath. Bring another stair like so, and then fill in oak planks all the way across, and this is going to be where the captain is going to drive this boat. You can place temporary blocks across these two, and then some oak trapdoors on those blocks right there. And finally an oak door right there, and this is going to be a little bedroom. Decorate this little interior, we can place a torch right there. We can place a bed in the corner, a chest at the bottom of the bed with an armor stand, maybe at an angle with some leather armor on it, and a painting on this wall right here, something like that. Finally, moving up to the cockpit of the boat, if that is what it's called, we're going to add in a grindstone right there as a little steering wheel, upside down polished andesite stair with a comparator, and put it right there. You can turn that on, looks like little controls, and finally a cartography table in the corner so that we know where we are going. Well, there we go guys, our fishing boat is now complete, and as I previously mentioned, boats are very difficult to build in Minecraft, at least I think so, so I'm very proud of how this one turned out and how it looks in the end. Adding all those little details really does make it come to life. If you enjoyed the build and if you liked the video, I would appreciate if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel and comment on what you thought. But with that guys, it's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and until the next one, bye bye.